We're in a place called Tarvisio on a youth group trip. Say hi, Eddie. That's Eduardo. He's a member of the church, and we're just out for the night. And we do lessons with Skype. Sorry, we do lessons with Sam through Skype because he couldn't come. So he Skypes us and gives us little lessons, and we're just out here looking at the very scarce amount of snow, trying to find a little lake out here. But it's very pretty. We had to preach in Udine Church. It's been so cold that it's actually snowed. Never seen it here before. Look at all that. I guess it seems like a lot if you're from California, but I guess it's not really. Andy. We're doing mimes in the piazza for Ministry Week. We have Save the Children with us. And that little sign back there is Jehovah's Witnesses. And there was a creepy guy back here selling balloons who's down. You probably can't see him on the little screen, but he was way down there. So it's a whole circus down here. And the humidity is keeping people out, or keeping people in, I should say. And so it's been a little bit of a rough night, but we're doing our best. It is a foggy day, and we're at the last day of what we call Ministry Week. So the students here doing mimes and things like that are out, and we're in a small town called San Vito, which is a town that Samuel and Amber used to live in. And we are distributing this tract right here called A Priest and a Prostitute. And the synthesis of it is that it's a version I wrote of the parable of the tax collector and the Pharisee, and I modernized it using a prostitute and a priest. So it's kind of cool, it's a little shocking, it's a little hard-hitting, but I think it's good. I think the title kind of really grabs people's attention. So we'll see what happens from it. Well, it's finally warm enough, just barely warm enough to go out at night with the sign. And so on Saturday's always the best night, of course. And I've gotten to talk to people for the first time in a long time. And it's really sad what people think, because I was talking to this old man who was rather arrogant in that he thought he knew everything, but then he would tell you that you couldn't know anything at all. And it was kind of funny, because I would talk to him about the Bible, and he'd say, well, you can't know what the Bible said because all you have are your own prejudices. And then he would start telling me about his own worldview, and he would say that I can tell what the whole universe is trying to tell us, and I know what the truth is. And I'm like, well, you're allowed to interpret the universe, but I'm not allowed to interpret the Bible. And it was just quite sad. And I'm just more and more amazed at the strange ideas that are in people's minds. And you know, they look like normal people. You know, people walking around, but they have such contradictory, stupid ideas. And it's very sad. So, pray for Pordenone. Well, I just had a very sweet conversation that is, in honesty, making me tear up slightly. And it was two young people who who admitted that they didn't know anything about life, where they were going, or what was true. They never even thought about it, but they listened and asked questions to and heard the whole gospel and took my tracts at the end, and they really thanked me for taking the time to tell them, and it was just wonderful. So her name was Francesca and his name was Andrea. So I hope that I get to see them again someday. People are cleaning the center with us. Say ciao alla Chiesa di California.
Ciao!
Ciao. This is Alex and Carolina. They are our new we're not new co-workers. They've been here for 6 months. So.
Okay.
Ciao.
She wants me to take a picture of you going. I want a picture.
Yeah. Lots of interesting symbolism in this monument for World War I soldiers. What? I'm not sure. Maybe they're politicians? I don't know.
They were responsible for helping.
Ah, she said they were responsible for helping to unify Italy. These people here. And this is some sort of altar. And on the front of it, you've got the Chi-Rho, which are the first 2 letters of Christos, Greek, and then Alpha, Omega, first and last. Very interesting stuff. And the 3 crosses in the background. We definitely want to come back here someday and see it. We are near Aquileia, which is the first legal church in Europe, which was founded around 313 or 314. At least that was when Christianity was legalized. So, not far from Udine. This place is called Villa Menine. It's the Duke, old Duke of Venezia's summer home.
Queste cose che mi fanno bene, mi piace, mi regali
Ciao.
Ciao.
I'm in a bathroom in Venice, and I just found lots of interesting things that you will find in America. First off, no toilet seat on the toilet. Second, there is a sort of shower here to be used. And third, there's this rope here, which is a type of alarm, but it says, we inform our customers that the row is only for emergency. What they probably mean is the rope. This is like the only Lutheran church in Venice. It's probably super liberal, but perhaps it's not. It's talking about the 500th year anniversary of the Reformation, and right before it, we have Jehovah's Witnesses, of course. So. Interesting. They're going to do a talk on Protestants and Jews being together.
You're gonna do it. Might as well do the same thing. If my phone fell in here, I would kill you.
It's been a little bit of a later interim between videos, so I apologize. It's been about an extra 2 or 3 weeks longer than I normally do. But I had that big group that was doing mimes and was playing in the old folks' home and was in Venice, was a group of about 40 people actually, 36 high schoolers and a few leaders. And they were here for 1 whole week doing mostly evangelism and a little bit of study, which is why we were able to see Venice and the World War I monument and different things like that. And it was a really fun time being with them. They behaved very well, and we got to have lots of good experiences with them. And we ended up finding out that the day we went to Venice, there was actually a robbery that took place in St. Mark's Square, which was, the square was looking down on when the bells were ringing. And I remember actually walking around after we left that area, and we were getting lunch, and there was smoke in the air, and I thought it was just fog. And there were guys actually walking around with machine guns, which is a little bit normal, but it was a little bit strange also. And I came to find out the next day, I saw videos on Facebook of what had happened, and some guy, or guys, robbed a jewelry store in St. Mark's Square and used a smoke bomb to cover their escape. And so those machine gun guys were probably trying to find them or something like that. So it was an interesting thing that we were there when all that was happening. We didn't really know. So it was a good time. One other bit of news for me is I'm close to finishing the actual studies that I have to do that were part of my assignment. They're going to take about 4 years to complete. I'm on the last 2 books now. So I should be done by September. And that will mean I'm done with the agreed upon studies that I was supposed to do. That was part of my being here. I had to read about 30 different books and write summaries on them. So once I'm done with that, there was discussion on what the next thing should be. And while I'm not technically obligated to do anything, I certainly love to learn and do not resent study in any way. So there's actually a thing called IFED, I-F-E-D, we pronounce it IFED. And it's an acronym which I think it's the Institute. It's hard to translate into English. It talks about formation and documentation of evangelicals, something like that. And the point is this, that in September, I can start going to a sort of school that they've set up. They're a very small evangelical community in the city of Padova, which, if I am right, here's Pordenone, right? Padova is down there. So I hope you can see it. It's hard for me to see the screen and point. Anyways, it's about an hour and a half away. And what they have is a program set up for sort of lay people to get an education, and it would work very similar to what I just did, in that I would have to read certain books assigned by this organization, and I would attend maybe once every 2 months, kind of for like the whole day. I'd go to a lecture series, and then I would write papers on these things. And it's a little bit more academic than what I've just done, but it's not like it's some kind of degree either. And the whole thing would last about 5 years. It's incredibly, I could say it's affordable. It's incredibly affordable in that it would cost me like maybe 100 or 200 euro a year. So it's a good thing. And I would do all of it, all of my studies, all my readings, all my writings, all of the lecture in Italian, which would be wonderful for me for going to a new level of being able to speak and communicate in the language. And I would get to know lots of other, well, not there's lots of evangelicals in Italy, but I would get to meet the other evangelicals in Italy who study with these things. And IFED, just to give you a little bit more knowledge about it, they host every year something called Giornata Teologica, theological days. And they host usually a special guest, and they talk about some theme every year. So last year they hosted Wayne Grudem, and he spoke about gender and things like that. And they have, I don't know who they're having this year, but they're going to talk about the Reformation. The theme is the Reformation yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So I'll probably attend that in September. So pray for me in making this decision, but we've been thinking about it. I've been talking about it with Samuel. It was Samuel's suggestion, actually. And it seems like it's going to be a good move to do. So it wouldn't impede very much on any work I have to do now, because it's designed for people who work full-time, and it doesn't seem like it'll be a financial burden either. So that's sort of an exciting step that I'm looking forward to taking in a few months. Beyond that, I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for praying and for watching. So God bless you.